Look at the shirt you are wearing right now. Seriously, pinch the fabric between your fingers. Does it feel like a premium piece of craftsmanship? Or does it feel like a glorified piece of single-use plastic designed to survive exactly 3 cycles in a suburban washing machine before losing its shape entirely? You probably spent $80 on it because it features a little embroidered animal or a fancy heritage last name stitched onto the chest, assuming that a premium price tag automatically guarantees a premium product. It does not. The grim reality of modern retail is that you are routinely being scammed by the very brands you trust to keep you looking sharp. Over the next 20 minutes, you will find out how the clothing industry pulls off the biggest legal heist in modern commerce. I am going to show you the exact laboratory data, fabric weights, and corporate licensing scams that turn a $7 blank garment into a $100 status symbol. We will dissect 12 major menswear brands sold across America, from the high-end racks at Nordstrom and Bloomingdale's to the everyday shelves of Macy's and your local premium outlet mall. 7 of these brands are quietly robbing you blind, selling you cheap synthetics wrapped in a multi-million-dollar marketing illusion. Fortunately, 5 of them are doing the exact opposite, pouring your hard-earned money directly into the stitching, the weave, and the raw materials. Stick around until the very end, because the brand taking our #1 spot is an absolute masterclass in manufacturing integrity, and its identity will completely change how you shop for clothes forever. Before we name the worst offenders sitting in your closet, we need to build a solid educational foundation so you understand how a quality garment is built. Right now, fashion executives are actively exploiting your lack of textile knowledge to pad their profit margins. Think of a shirt exactly like a car. The fabric is the engine, and the stitching is the transmission. If you slap a luxury Italian badge on a rusty lawnmower engine, it is still a lawnmower. In the apparel world, that lawnmower engine is cheap, short staple cotton, or far worse, synthetic polyester blends. Polyester is literally plastic. It is petroleum oil melted down, extruded through tiny holes, and spun into threads. When you buy a luxury-priced shirt made of a heavy polyester blend, you are essentially wearing a recycled soda bottle that traps your body heat, breeds sweat bacteria, and starts pilling into ugly little fuzzballs after a month of wear. Then there is the weight of the fabric itself, which tells the true story of how much material a brand is giving you. The mass market loves thin, flimsy fabric because it saves corporations millions of dollars in global shipping weight and raw material costs. They engineer these garments to pass what insiders call the fitting room test. The clothes look crisp and structured under the deceptive, warm lighting of a retail store purely because they are heavily coated in chemical starches and synthetic finishes. The moment that temporary starch washes out in your home laundry, the illusion vanishes, leaving you with a limp, see-through rag that shrinks unevenly because the fabric was never pre-shrunk at the mill. High-quality brands bypass this trick by sourcing long staple fibers, like genuine Supima cotton, which feature individual threads that are inherently stronger and smoother. This results in a tighter weave that gets softer with every wash instead of disintegrating. The deception gets even worse when you step up to tailoring, sport coats, and winter jackets. The dirty secret of mass-market menswear is a manufacturing shortcut known as fused construction. Imagine ordering a premium burger at a high-end restaurant, but instead of grilling the ingredients together properly, the kitchen just hot glues the meat to the bun. That is exactly what a fused suit jacket is. Instead of stitching a floating canvas layer inside the coat to give it natural structure, manufacturers take the outer wool fabric and literally glue a synthetic inner lining directly to it using high-heat industrial adhesives. It is incredibly fast, cheap to assemble, and looks perfectly fine on a plastic storefront mannequin. The second you get caught in a humid summer downpour or take that jacket to a dry cleaner, the adhesive begins to degrade. The chest panel bubbles up like a terrible, cheap window tint job on an old sedan, permanently ruining the silhouette of a $500 garment. Finally, you have to understand the corporate shell game called brand licensing. Many of the legendary fashion houses that built their reputations decades ago on meticulous tailoring or rugged American craftsmanship do not actually design or make clothing anymore. They are effectively intellectual property holding firms that happen to own a famous trademark. They rent that logo out to massive, faceless global supply chain conglomerates who manufacture the garments in the lowest cost factories on Earth. The fashion house collects a massive royalty check for doing absolutely nothing, while you pay an 800% markup for a name. You are not buying craftsmanship. You are single-handedly financing the brand's multi-million-dollar celebrity endorsement contracts. Now that you know the rules of the game, it is time to look at the specific brands using these exact tricks on American consumers. Let us dive straight into the Hall of Shame, starting with a brand whose rugged American frontier marketing does all the heavy lifting while its actual production lines tell a completely different story. In 12th place, we have Filson. Now, let us be entirely fair here. If you buy one of their classic tin cloth jackets or a rugged twill briefcase, you are still getting a beast of a product that is built like a tank. That specific heritage lineup is legendary, and the heavy-duty canvas justifies a chunk of the premium price. But walk into any upscale mall or browse their digital catalog today, and you will see that heavy canvas coats are not what fills their inventory anymore. The real cash cow for modern corporate ownership is an endless sea of lightweight cotton t-shirts, synthetic flannel button-downs, graphic hoodies, and imported lifestyle accessories. A simple cotton graphic tee can cost you $60 to $80, carrying the exact same brand logo as a $400 wilderness jacket. Yet absolutely none of the domestic, heavy-duty manufacturing or meticulous quality control that made the brand defensible went into that t-shirt. It is a brilliant corporate illusion. One tiny, over-engineered product category quietly props up the rugged old-school reputation for a massive catalog of basic imported goods made in standard overseas factories. You think you are investing in a piece of unyielding American heritage built for the great outdoors, but half the time you are just buying a logo stamped onto an ordinary, lightweight garment riding on the coattails of a bygone era. Moving along to 11th place, we find Armani Exchange. The moment you see or hear the word Armani, your brain instinctively does the marketing team's work for you, instantly conjuring up images of sleek Italian tailoring, red carpet luxury, and precision design. Armani Exchange delivers absolutely none of that. It sits at the absolute rock bottom of the Armani brand pyramid, buried deep beneath Giorgio Armani and Emporio. This is an entry-level line designed specifically for mall shoppers, but the materials are strictly exit-level garbage. Pick up a basic t-shirt or polo from their rack at a premium outlet mall and take a hard look at the white care tag on the inside seam. You will routinely find blends consisting of roughly 80% polyester and 20% viscose. That synthetic cocktail costs a mass manufacturer about $5 to $8 per garment to produce in bulk. Yet, that shirt sits on the retail shelf with a price tag ranging from $70 to $100. That massive price gap is not funding artisanal craftsmanship, and it never was. It is brand licensing working exactly as the corporate accountants intended. The parent conglomerate uses this sub-brand to hook younger, trend-conscious shoppers by slapping a legendary luxury surname onto mass-produced plastics, pricing it high enough to mimic a premium product while keeping it low enough to move massive volume. The consumer walks out of the store believing they have bought a genuine piece of high fashion. But what they actually bought is a cheap polyester shirt with a famous name stitched on the fabric. If you already feel like walking over to your closet to check your own tags, hit that subscribe button right now, because it gets significantly harsher from here. In 10th place is Lacoste. Walk into any Nordstrom or a standalone Lacoste boutique, and you will find their signature polo shirts retailing anywhere from $90 to $130. Now, let us look at the actual fabric. It is standard peak cotton. It is not proprietary, it is not engineered in a secret lab, and it is not rare in any way. The exact same weight and style of weave shows up on basic polo shirts from brands charging $20 to $25 at your local Target or Kohl's. So what is the actual difference? It is that tiny, embroidered green crocodile on the left side of the chest. That single reptile adds roughly $70 to $90 to the retail price. Generous industry estimates for the total production cost of a standard imported Lacoste polo, including the fabric, labor, buttons, and international freight, sit between $10 and $14. That means the retail price runs 8 to 10 times higher than the actual cost of creation. Strip that crocodile logo off with a seam ripper and place two blank polos side by side on a table. Could you honestly tell which one cost over $100 and which one cost $20? Most people cannot, which tells you everything you need to know about what you are really paying for on an American retail rack. In 9th place is Tommy Hilfiger, a brand owned by PVH Corporation, one of the largest apparel conglomerates on the planet. Let us break down the brutal math of what a standard Tommy dress shirt actually costs to produce. A basic polycotton blend fabric runs about $2 to $3 per yard. That means you are looking at roughly $4 to $5 worth of total fabric per shirt. When you add the plastic buttons, mass production factory labor, and overseas freight, the total landed cost of that shirt at the warehouse is roughly $8 to $10. That exact same shirt retails for $85 to $100 in American department stores like Macy's or Belk. PVH Corporation pours astronomical amounts of cash into star-studded marketing campaigns, global celebrity endorsements, and aspirational American lifestyle advertising. None of that massive corporate spending upgrades the thread count, improves the stitching, or sources better, longer staple cotton. It goes straight into inflating the retail price tag, and you are the one stuck with the bill. If you check the fabric weight on a standard Tommy shirt, it sits squarely around 140 grams per square meter, which is thoroughly mediocre and completely transparent when held up to the light. It is engineered to look crisp on a hanger under retail spotlights, but the thread count simply cannot support the weight of the brand name. That brings us to 8th place, Ralph Lauren. Recent public financial filings for the group show gross margins north of 65%. Let that sink in for a second. For every $100 you hand over at the register, only about $35 goes toward the physical production of the garment. The other $65 is immediately swallowed up by marketing campaigns, massive corporate operations, and pure profit. Take a look at a high-end purple label overcoat retailing for over $2,000. Its estimated production cost hovers right around $250. That is an astronomical markup on a single piece of outerwear. The standard Polo Ralph Lauren line operates the exact same corporate playbook lower down the department store shelf. The corporation runs multiple sub-brands, from Polo and Lauren to RRL, each precisely targeted at a completely different income bracket, but all of them feeding off the exact same aspirational image meticulously manufactured over decades. A basic knit cotton shirt retailing for over $100 contains maybe $12 of physical material. The rest is pure brand equity and lifestyle positioning. Ralph Lauren did not just build a clothing company, they built a visual country club identity and then attached a premium entry fee to it. Once that little polo player logo disappears, a lot of buyers finally realize they were paying for recognition, not superior craftsmanship. 7th place belongs to Hugo Boss. This corporate giant spends hundreds of millions of dollars every single year on aggressive global advertising, routinely dedicating over 7% of its total revenue strictly to marketing. That means for every single dollar the company pulls in, a massive chunk goes right back into funding billboards and commercials. Now look at what that advertising budget actually buys you in a premium department store. A Hugo Boss suit retails anywhere from $600 to $900, yet the actual factory production cost ranges from $50 to $80. The advertising spend per garment nearly matches what it costs to physically build the suit in the first place. For every dollar spent sewing your jacket, another dollar went into convincing you to buy it. The actual construction of the garment completely backs this up. Most standard Hugo Boss suits use cheap fused construction, meaning the inner lining is literally glued to the outer wool fabric rather than being meticulously stitched onto a floating canvas layer. Fused suits are incredibly fast to assemble on an automated factory line, but they are highly prone to absolute disaster. The moment the industrial glue degrades from humidity or repeated dry cleaning, the chest panel bubbles up, the shape warps permanently, and you are left wearing a highly fragile $600 advertisement that happens to have sleeves, finally. In 6th place, the last name on our absolute avoid list is Ted Baker. This one is incredibly frustrating because the brand actually meant something special once, representing quirky British design, premium craftsmanship, and genuine attention to detail. Then, the global brand management firm Authentic Brands Group bought the company and completely gutted the entire operation. The original in-house design and manufacturing teams are completely gone. What is left today is a pure, unadulterated licensing play. Ted Baker no longer designs anything, manufactures anything, or conducts independent quality control. They simply rent their trademark name out to third-party licensees scattered across the globe, who cut costs to maximize their own margins. Take a pair of their leather Chelsea boots listed at over $200. The material is corrected grain leather, which is the lowest usable grade in the entire footwear hierarchy. It is sanded down mechanically to remove natural flaws and then heavily coated with a thick plastic finish to hide the cheap grain underneath. It costs roughly 40% less to source than genuine full-grain leather, with an estimated production cost of $25 to $35. It is a massive markup on a material that cracks, peels, and degrades faster than anything labeled premium ever should, leaving consumers with unraveled stitching and splitting soles within months because the royalty check is the corporation's only priority. And now, what it was worth watching all the way through for. We are finally switching sides completely, shifting away from the corporate illusionists and moving toward 5 brands that actually spend your money where it counts. No more paying a premium for a fancy logo or a marketing campaign that treats you like an invoice. The next 5 brands are available right here in the United States, and they might genuinely change what sits in your wardrobe. We start our countdown of the good guys in 5th place with Uniqlo. Here is a statistic that will completely change how you look at basic apparel. Less than 1% of the entire global cotton supply qualifies as genuine Supima-grade cotton. Grown right here in America, this extra-long staple fiber is measurably stronger, significantly softer, and retains its color far longer than the ordinary short-staple cotton used by mass-market competitors. Most designer brands that use Supima cotton will easily charge you $45 to $60 for a single t-shirt. Uniqlo charges less than $20. Walk into any of their massive flagship stores in New York, Chicago, or Los Angeles, or browse their online store, and you will notice something incredibly rare. They do not hide behind vague, poetic marketing language. Every single product page lists the exact fabric composition and structural percentages with zero spin. Their Supima cotton tees run around $20, directly contrasting with the $90 Lacoste polo we exposed earlier, which uses standard cotton with absolutely no premium fiber certification. Uniqlo also applies this material-first philosophy to their stretch selvage jeans, retailing around $50. Selvage denim is woven on old-school shuttle looms, creating a self-finished edge that is denser, tougher, and ages with beautiful personal character instead of fraying into garbage. Most boutique heritage brands charge well over $150 for the exact same denim weave. Uniqlo operates on a modest retail markup that runs roughly 3 to 4 times the physical production cost, completely bypassing the massive 8 to 10 times markups of the big fashion houses. You are not paying for a celebrity endorsement. You are paying for verified fabric data and functional engineering. In 4th place is Charles Tyrwhitt. Spending $80 to $90 on a crisp dress shirt sounds a bit steep until you pull up the specifications on their digital storefront and realize exactly what is driving that number. Tyrwhitt prints the full technical spec sheet for every single garment they sell: fiber content, exact thread count, specific weave type, and collar construction. They offer real, verifiable data that you can easily cross-reference against any competitor on the market. While the company prides itself on its historical London roots, they do not hide behind a fake heritage smokescreen. Their labels openly state where the shirts are manufactured, maintaining a level of transparency that is practically non-existent among mid-tier mall brands. Their direct-to-consumer business model entirely cuts out the traditional wholesale middleman, allowing them to keep the final retail price at roughly 2 to 3 times the actual landed cost of the garment. Compare that directly to a brand like Tommy Hilfiger, which charges $90 for a noticeably thinner, lighter fabric with absolutely zero published technical specs. When you hold a Tyrwhitt shirt, the substantial weight of the 160 to 180 grams per square meter fabric speaks for itself. The only real downside here is that you have to navigate their constant bundle sales to get the absolute best price per shirt, but if you want documented textile proof instead of marketing hype, this is where you look. 3rd place belongs to Spoke London, an online brand that has made a massive splash in the American market by solving a universal menswear frustration. No 2 human bodies are built exactly the same, so why does every major American department store still insist on sorting their pants into generic small, medium, and large categories? Spoke entirely rejects that lazy manufacturing shortcut, offering over 150 unique size combinations by utilizing a proprietary fitting matrix. They provide 3 distinct anatomically mapped body builds: narrow, regular, and wide, finished to your precise waist and inseam measurements down to the exact inch. The premium cotton twill is woven in Italy, the heavy-duty hardware is cast in Switzerland, and the garments are meticulously cut and sewn in European factories rather than being shoved through a generic, high-speed assembly line. A pair of their signature chinos will run you around $140. That sounds expensive compared to a $35 pair of pants from a big-box grocery or department store rail until you look at what that price is actually funding. You are paying for a highly sophisticated geometric fitting system and premium raw materials, not a multi-million-dollar billboard in Times Square. Long-term consumer reviews prove that these pants endure years of daily wear without experiencing a sagging seat or a collapsing hem, the 2 classic structural failure points that completely destroy cheap chinos within a single season, taking our 2nd place spot is Suit Supply. Walk into almost any standard corporate mall suit shop in America and ask the salesperson a very simple technical question. Is this jacket fused or is it canvassed? Watch their eyes glaze over. Most retail workers genuinely do not know, and corporate management certainly does not want them telling you the truth anyway. Suit Supply completely flips the script by putting the exact construction details right at the top of the product description before you ever step foot inside their showroom. Every single suit is clearly labeled by its internal structure, explicitly breaking down whether it features a half canvas or a premium full canvas build, with absolutely no fine print or deceptive ambiguity. A half canvas suit starts around $500, while their premium full canvas options run between $800 and $1,100. For a bit of financial context, major designer labels routinely charge $1,200 to $1,500 for cheap, glued, fused jackets alone. Suit Supply completely controls its own vertical supply chain, managing everything from direct Italian mill fabric sourcing all the way to the final retail floor, completely eliminating licensing fees, wholesale markups, and third-party distribution costs. This keeps their retail markup sitting at a tight 2 to 3 times the landed cost. The direct contrast with a brand like Hugo Boss is staggering. At a lower price point, Suit Supply gives you genuine canvas construction where the inner lining is meticulously stitched into the jacket body. It naturally drapes over your shoulders, molds perfectly to your specific anatomy over time, and easily survives repeated trips to the dry cleaner without bubbling or warping. And finally, taking the absolute #1 spot on our list is Todd Snyder. This brand has completely revitalized American menswear by prioritizing authentic manufacturing integrity over corporate cost-cutting. While Todd Snyder offers a complete modern wardrobe, their absolute crowning achievements are their premium curated collaborations and heritage outerwear pieces, which frequently utilize genuine champion knitwear, premium Japanese selvage fabrics, and authentic materials sourced from historic global mills. Take a look at their premium utility jackets and tailoring. They are constructed using heavy-duty fabrics, robust double-needle stitching, and custom hardware that is built to last a lifetime. A premium jacket or suit from Todd Snyder will easily run you anywhere from $400 to $800, but every single cent of that price tag covers fair wages, domestically and internationally sourced premium cloths, and high-integrity construction executed by factories that actually specialize in longevity. Nothing in that number is an arbitrary licensing fee paid to a faceless holding company. Nothing is a vanity markup designed to fund a celebrity lifestyle campaign. In an industry where almost every recognizable mall brand has rented its name out to a low-cost contract factory to maximize short-term profit, Todd Snyder invests heavily in the physical product, the specialized mills, and the tactile result. It is absolute precision at every single level, and that is exactly why it takes our #1 spot. Now that we have stripped away the corporate smoke and mirrors, you need a personal defense system so you never get ripped off again. When you are standing in a store or browsing online, use these 5 concrete rules to evaluate any garment on the spot. First, check the label for long staple fiber callouts like Supima or Egyptian cotton. If it just says 100% cotton, it is almost certainly cheap, shorts staple trash engineered to fall apart. Second, run away from any garment with more than 10% polyester, nylon, or spandex unless it is dedicated athletic wear, because high synthetic percentages in everyday clothes are an immediate green light that a corporate accountant slashed the raw material budget. Third, pull up the product page on your phone right in the store and look for actual material weights and thread specs. If a brand hides behind vague, fluffy marketing adjectives like ultra soft or premium luxury instead of publishing real numbers, they are actively hiding a low-grade build. Fourth, grab the fabric and firmly press it between your thumb and forefinger while giving it a hard stretch. A high-integrity weave will snap right back into place immediately, whereas cheap fabric will stay warped, puckered, or look completely transparent against the light. Fifth, look at the inside seams of sport coats and suits to check if the lining is stitched into a floating canvas or glued down to the outer fabric. If you see stiff, rigid panels that feel like cardboard, you are looking at a cheap fused jacket that will bubble and warp permanently after its first trip to a professional dry cleaner. When you step back and look at the entire industry, the takeaway is clear. The modern clothing market is completely backwards. The brands that spend hundreds of millions of dollars plastering billboards across America and buying celebrity endorsements are almost always the ones cutting corners on the actual thread, shortcuts exposed by third-party testing labs like Intertech. You have to undergo a complete shift in your shopping mindset. Stop looking at the logo on the chest and start looking at the spec sheet on the tag. The moment you stop buying into a manufactured corporate lifestyle, you stop being a victim of modern retail marketing and start building a high-integrity wardrobe that lasts for a decade. Thank you so much for hanging out and digging into the truth with me today. If you want to protect your friends from flushing their hard-earned cash down the toilet on low-grade designer plastics, share this video with them right now. Because everyone has that one buddy who spent way too much money on a flimsy mall polo shirt just to show off a little embroidered animal. Drop a comment down below and let me know the truth. Which of these exact 12 brands is sitting in your closet right this second? If you want to see how the exact same corporate cost-cutting scams are completely destroying the footwear industry, click on our next video right here where we break down the shocking truth behind major American shoe brands. Your wardrobe is either a long-term investment or an ongoing invoice. Stop paying for the advertisement.